Hello, beautiful Gemini. Welcome to a new era. My name is Emma. Gemini, this is your monthly read for June of 2024. And we're going to start with an overall energy here and then use the other decks to just go deeper and deeper into the message. I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. Give it a thumbs up if you like the videos. It really helps me a lot. That was quick. Legends. Okay. Sorry. Legends. Just felt this energy here and I don't know what it was. So I just figured I'd just leave that. Okay. Learn from those who inspire you. Just give me a moment to see what really wants to stand out here. I think that you think about sort of which way to go, or what's really good in life, or what is truly like a what is that expression? All that glitters. You know, all that glitters isn't gold necessarily. It might be a shiny surface, and then when you dig a little deeper, like you go under it, and you will find that maybe it wasn't that substantial, or it didn't have that depth, or the sincerity, or the honesty, or like whatever was underneath wasn't really there. And I think it's like Gemini is figuring out what is real and what is not, what is authentic and what is not. Meaning, what do you want to keep in your life, and what do you want to recycle or like give back, or like, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And I think it's like a constant, I don't think it's like a big thing, and like just this one thing that you're trying to decide whether that is for you or not. I think this is like almost like an everyday, moment by moment choice for you. As of right now, it's like you're going on this journey to really figure out what is worth something and what isn't. It's almost like if it's worth something, it's welcomed with open arms. If it's not worth something, it can maybe feel even a little bit harsh. You almost wonder if you're a little bit harsh. Like, am I coming off too strong here to just say, no, not interested, you know? And it doesn't mean that you have to turn into a biatch just because you're saying no to things, but like you can be quite clear, but sort of let them down easy. If it's people, if it's a situation where you have shown up in the past and you've said yes to numerous things, and all of a sudden Gemini is just not interested anymore. And it might come across as a little bit of like, what's with you? You don't have to explain your life to anyone. You don't have to defend anything to anyone. But there's a way to say no to things, and there's a way to say no to things. Like, like you can just sort of come across a little bit more gentle, perhaps, but you still have the right to say no. So interesting start here. Like, you're deciding what's good and what's not. Like, what truly deserves a spot in your life. And that's whether it's people, whether it's situations, whether it's something that you used to do or something that you're still doing. Like thinking about whether to keep that or let it go. It can even be things. Like, it can be like even going through things like in your apartment, in your home, in your summer house, like whatever places, in your office, whatever space that you spend time, even if it's a small amount of time, that once you show up there or once you're in it, like you just really keep the stuff, the things, the material stuff in your home and in your space that you really truly like, that's really in alignment with who you are, and the rest sort of got to go. So it might even be like a cleansing out of stuff. Going deeper into this message, what do we have for Gemini, please? For the month of June, probably 6 weeks, give or take, into the future. This is what it tends to be for whatever reason. The wheel. The Wheel of Fortune, we like to see that it's a 10, so there's a completion of something. This is, yeah, it fits the message. We're gonna get into it here. Using the fairy deck, because there's one fairy deck in the entire world. Let's see. Wow, do we only want the wheel and nothing else? No. Okay. If you threaten the cards a little bit, they jump out. They jump out. I feel like there's one more. They just really want specific ones. 2 of Winter. Indecision. So there needs to be a decision made. And the High Priestess. Wow. Okay. So we're going to start. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel, and then we have 2 of Winter, which is about indecisiveness, indecision. This usually comes along with when you care a little bit too much about what other people think. And the High Priestess, which you know, or maybe you don't know the High Priestess. The High Priestess is very intuitive. She really listens to her own inner signals, to her own inner guidance. She's very intuitive. And if you noticed, there's a lot of blue here, or purple. So this to me speaks both. They actually come across more blue in the camera than on the cards. On the cards, they look more purple. So I'll say I give it both the blue and the purple. So the blue to me is the throat chakra, and the purple is your spiritual path. And so we're starting with the wheel. Delays are over, sudden or unexpected good luck, a new car or travel. And we have number 10 there, so 10 is a completion. And due to the foundational message here, the core of the energy is what I'm trying to say, is you're trying to decide what is good for you and what isn't, what fits the bill and what doesn't, what should stay and what should go. Like it's that energy there, right? And the wheel is, I think the wheel, like the more you step into this energy of like just allowing what is in alignment with you and to say no to what is not, is gonna have an energy that probably has been stagnant, or not even stagnant. It might have been coming to like a hold standstill, like it's just not moving anywhere. That can be a feeling of your overall life, like your overall life just doesn't move anywhere, like it doesn't want to really get going. That's not the case now. Let's just say that. That's where you come from. So you probably have been sitting for a while, and if it just feels like you're doing whatever you can, and it's always a setback, or it's always something that's just gonna, no, that didn't work out, no, that's not gonna happen now. You get your hopes up, and then something else happens where it's like a never-ending story of the old, like it just doesn't move, you know. And once you now have started to really, whether that is like, okay, so I'm getting that for some of you guys, it's actually on an unconscious level that you might not even think about, that you're making this. For some of you, it's really obvious that you're making these choices, that you really are saying yes to certain things and no to certain things. And for some of you guys, you might not even have paid really attention to the fact that you're just following yourself way more than you've done in the past. Maybe you've just come to a place where maybe you haven't set the intention, like, I'm going to start to say yes to the things that are in alignment and say no to the things that are not. You might just have come to a place where it's like, enough is freaking enough. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it's just enough of the hardship, enough of things falling apart, enough of, just having enough. And once you set that clear intention that you, like, it's enough, then the opposite is going to start to show up for you. And if you just sort of follow that guidance or follow those breadcrumbs, you might not even have noticed how much you have just said yes to the things that work and no to the things that don't. And when you now start to do that, whether that is on purpose or it's unconsciously, the wheel is starting to pick up pace. Like the momentum here, like the delays are over, the stagnation is gone. And I don't mean that you haven't had, like, it's not like Gemini has ever sat on the couch for more than -3 hours and then have more stuff to do. You are constantly on the go. You constantly, even when you don't do anything, you do something. And so you constantly have stuff to do. So I'm not saying that it has been a standstill or like a stagnation where you haven't done anything. You still have done your life. You still have worked or done things, you know? But it's just not to your liking. It hasn't been to your liking. It has always been like some sort of struggle. There's something that needs to shift here. And whether that's more internal or on the outside, both of them are now picking up speed, picking up momentum. Like you're going to start to see whatever fell apart in the past is now going to finally, there's going to be some resolution, or there's going to be like a yes where there has been a no. There's going to be things just really starting to fall into place for you, where it's because you're making this shift. It doesn't all of a sudden just start to do that. It's because you've started to be decisive about what you want and what you don't want. And therefore the energies are really starting to pick up pace. And there is a completion to the old version of you and the old version of your life. Like you really are setting the stage for a new era, pun intended, that's starting now. It feels like you probably have already started a little bit in the month of May, but you're going to really see it kick off in the month of June. And I just realized, happy birthday to you early birds, Gemini. It's Gemini season coming up, so happy birthday. And then we have 2 winter. So when you're making these choices, I'm laughing. But it's kind of cute because it's also a Gemini. It's the double-edged sword, right? It's like you want to really follow your path. You want to follow what feels good to you. But how is that going to affect someone else? What is someone else going to think of that? If you're making these changes, how is that going to pan out for those people? Like, so when you're now coming into this, like enough is enough, and you're starting to like really, really make a decision about what is good for you, what works for you, what's in alignment with you and your highest good. And the 2 winter is here, and the 2 winter is not here to mess things up. This is what's going to be challenged. You're going to challenge the side of you, Gemini, that wants to please others. It's going to challenge the side of you that wants to, every single time you make a decision, it's going to be good for all. Sometimes you just actually need to make a decision that's good for you. And if someone else has an issue with that, it's their issue. And again, you don't have to turn into you know what, because you're starting to follow your own path. If there's a way to include other people where it works out for you and all, that's awesome. That's perfect. But what's happening here, or what has happened in the past, is that Gemini has said yes to things when you really feel no. So it's not like, okay, whatever's working out for others, that's perfect if it can work out for you as well. But what you've done in the past is that you put yourself on the back burner. You have done what works out for everyone else. Meanwhile, it maybe didn't fit you. So it's not even about you just becoming all about Gemini. It's actually just maybe for the first time saying what works out for all and Gemini. And sometimes Gemini, I don't know if you heard of this, you can do something that works for you, even if it doesn't seem to be the perfect situation for someone else. And this is not what's going to mess things up. This is what has happened all along. This is why you have an enough is enough, because you probably have followed so much what other people think, what other people say, what other people do. You can even have become sick over this. You can even become a little bit resentful. Bitter is too strong, but like you're a little bit resentful that people are they're just living their life and doing their thing, you know. And here you are, and you have to work accordingly. And it's just Gemini doesn't feel like it anymore. And I think that's a really, really good thing for you in your life. And that's what's going to be challenged. It's going to be challenged that you are now starting to come out of pleasing others and making sure that others are fine first, and then Gemini second. I think those places are challenged right now to switch places. Okay? And then we have the High Priestess, which is all about then trusting, listening, trusting, really pay attention to what your guidance is saying. And if for some time, like we all are, most people that I work with one-on-one, they're around their 40s or 50s or 60s. And I'm not saying that those are the only ages. I'm saying that those ages are typical, that they're now in adulthood and they're trying to get back to listening to their own voice, because the voice of them has been quieted for such a long time that you might not even know what pure guidance means or is, or how it feels, or was that guidance or was that just a pain in my stomach? Like, what is it trying to tell me here, And so I think this is so much about you practicing also trusting the guidance that shows up, follow it and see how it pans out, and start to wow, for each time that something told you something. It can be for the smallest, right now it's very sunny weather, has been quite sunny and quite warm here in Sweden, which is beautiful for a couple of weeks now. And if I were to just feel, which is sort of typical for Sweden weather as well, that it's beautiful weather in the morning and you think it's so beautiful and it's not supposed to rain, but then you get a hint of taking the umbrella, or you get a hint of taking different shoes or whatever. And you look outside and you go, well, not really that, it doesn't look like it's going to rain. No, I'm not going to take the umbrella. And then wherever you're going, wherever you are, 2, 3, 4 hours later, there comes the rain. And it's like, I had the notion, I had the guidance saying I should take the umbrella. So I'm just giving you that this doesn't have to mean, follow your guidance doesn't have to be around the biggest choice or decision you ever made in your life. It doesn't have to be about whether to, take this job or not, or to those types of things. It is in the detail. It is when you're getting small. Just the other day, I got the guidance of my computer was on its way to shut down, and the indicator of the battery going low is really messed up. So it just all of a sudden it just clicks off. It just disappears. It's really annoying when you're in the middle of writing something. And it's also not the computer's fault, because it's me not putting in the whatever that's called, the cord to charge the laptop. And so just the other day, I got a hint it's gonna turn off. I was like, I can push it. I was looking at the indicator and I was like, I can probably just finish this sentence, and then it just went away. I was like, okay, thank you. Just small things. And the more it wasn't that I didn't trust the guidance. I mean, that was just me being lazy, not immediately just getting up and starting to charge the computer. But you know what I'm saying. It's listening to the small stuff, and the small stuff is going to pile up to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you really are going to start to trust your guidance, as there is an important decision to make, as there is something that you really need clarity, or having a clear mind, or having a clear feeling of really what's right and what's wrong. And if you're building up and practicing now, it's almost like a reboot and a restart of listening to that guidance system. That feels really important right now. You're on that path to really listen to yourself. Okay, a couple more cards here for Gemini, please. That really flew out there. I don't know what's so funny about this, but it's really, today, for some reason, it looks really funny. It's abracadabra, this dude right here. He looks like he's so, what is that word? Complacent? Like, I don't care, but I just do this. I just do that with my hands and it all comes together. I can do whatever I want. He's like, I don't know if someone has started to feel this way. Speaking of it, I'm not taking credit for that because I'm not that powerful yet. But it was really sunny here. It shifted. You see, I only have natural light here for the camera. So I don't know if you saw the dimming of the light there. As I was speaking about it, it was like really, really sunny. And now it's starting to be cloudy. Interesting. Okay. I don't know if someone has just come into this feeling, or if you just has started to make this like, what if I could just do this, like, and it's just done. I can manifest whatever I want. Or this is like what you're stepping into. Like, you really are starting to become like, this is the thing though. When you're starting to really pay attention to what feels in alignment and what doesn't, that's the path. When you're listening to the guidance that comes from within, that is what is guidance? Guidance is your inner being telling you whether you're on or off course, to where you want to go, to where you've said that you want to go. In terms of relationships, in terms of money, in terms of health, in terms of housing, in terms of like whatever that is. And when you start to really pay attention, no matter what other people think or say, or, you know, I just realized we have 2 twos here. So it's a lot about the balance in your life right now. And we have 2 10s or 2 1s, however you want to look at it. It's a 1 and 10. New beginnings and balance. And we have a completion. Is that when you start to follow this, you can set up whatever you want in your life. Like, this is what I want. And when you truly follow that guidance, there's just nothing under the roof of the heavens that you can't manifest. And I'm supposed to read from the book, so I will. And the magician. You really are the magician, Gemini. Okay, keywords to this card is act, create, focus, magic, clarity, and intent. There's the clarity that we talked about. This is a time of great power for you. Jesus Christ. That was the mail that scared me. This is this is a time of great power for you. The manifest card is here to tell you that anything is possible. Do you hear that? Anything is possible. You have all the tools at your disposal to create whatever you desire. You have a variety of tools that can be put to good use. The ability to love unconditionally, to support, to cherish, to listen, to understand, to forgive, to be kind, to be joyful, and even to be silly. Do you see that no one of those tools were practical? The tools that you have is to love unconditionally, to support, to cherish, to listen. Can we just do a little thing and turn that towards you? I'm almost getting emotional as I'm just saying that, but can we do that? Because it's not to unconditionally love someone else. It is though, but if we can just turn it around to you, Gemini, because I think this has been the issue here, that you haven't valued yourself, you haven't loved yourself enough, or haven't valued or loved yourself unconditionally. And that's what's been tripping you up. So if we turn this around and you say to Gemini, this is the ability to love you unconditionally, to support you, to cherish yourself, to listen to yourself, to understand yourself, to forgive yourself, and to be kind to yourself, and to be joyful. And I'm not going to cry. And even to be silly. My goodness. Because you're worthy of that, Gemini. All of these are useful tools in managing affairs of the heart. Take some time to determine what your best tools are for you, so that you can use them to work your own unique brand of magic around relationships, towards yourself. Before using these tools to manifest your desires, take some time to be clear on exactly what you want. And that's interesting because I saw this clip of Oprah just, is that 2 days ago or something? Maybe even yesterday. I saw this clip where they asked Oprah, like, what is the power of manifestation? What makes you powerful? And she said, the one thing that people have the most problem with, or the one thing that really would get people to be more powerful, is to clearly decide what they want. Like, what do you want in any situation? So decide what you want. A magician is always focused on his or her intent before working magic. You have the ability, unless you're Gemini, you just do this and everything turns up. I'm sorry, guys. A magician is always focused on his or her intent before working magic. You have the ability to manifest what you desire now. So take a moment so there's total clarity. What do you truly need and want? Is it in your highest good? Is it in the highest good of the other person that you shouldn't care too much about, Gemini? Will it harm anyone? Maybe that one you should care about a little bit. Magic and manifestation are powerful. When you come from a place of love, you will generate love. Be clear, be honest in your intent, and take action to manifest your heart's desire. You have what it takes to achieve this. I love this for you. Okay, no wonder I was supposed to take another card. And we will finish or round this up with some information or message from your fairies. Gemini's fairies, what do you have for Gemini, please? For the month of June, for your birthday. How beautiful if you just turn your life around in your season. Like you're just coming into your own. Release. That's interesting. Maybe let go of control a little bit. Stand your ground. A lot of blue here. I just feel a lot of blue, purple and blue. The bluish color. Honor your true feelings. So it's coming up again. We're going to start with this one. Release, let go. It says in Swedish, släppa taget. And if we look closely, it's like, talk about being the magician here. Like you're so in it's not about not being in in contact or being in alignment with the universe. It's rather the other way around. Like you are the magician. You're the magician here, Gemini, and you are very, like, you're really coming into listening to that guidance system, listening to your intuition, follow the breadcrumbs, and really like putting that as the first priority before anyone else. Like it's important to really follow that guidance. And so it's not about it's not about giving up, but it's about letting go of control and letting go of how it will turn out. Like to not have a get clear of what you want, but then release how it's going to show up, or in what way, in what fashion, in what style, in what, like the where, the who, the what, the what, the when, the what. Like just release that and make a clear connection and listen to the guidance, and rather follow than take the lead, if that makes sense. Release, let go, surrender. It's not giving up, but it's a surrender. I hope that makes sense. And then it's stand your ground. Stå på dig in Swedish. Stand your ground. Stand up for yourself. Put your foot down. Set boundaries. Get clear. We have the boundary. They're really tight right now. There's not so much. You probably have higher like spiritual boundaries than people boundaries. Like you need to broaden the boundary a little bit. Like how close can people, and it's not about people think often that boundaries is about saying no, Boundaries is just getting really clear about what you want so that you can start to say yes to what's in alignment with you. Sounds so easy, doesn't it? Stand your ground. Stand up for yourself. Just become really... I never find a good word for this. Självklar in Swedish. Just become really crystal clear about what it means to be you. And that's sort of all you need to feel and know. And the boundary will take care of itself, more or less. And then honor your true emotions. Like honor your true... hedra dina sanna känslor. Honor your true feelings. Honor your true emotions. Like this is... Don't honor someone else's true feelings. Unless they honor yours at the same time. But you need to honor yours first. I love where you're going. It looks really, really good. Okay? That's what I have for you today, dear Gemini. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is helpful. Thank you, guys. Bye.